Today we are joined by India's celebrated legend, a senior advocate, the 12th Attorney General of India, but for us, someone who's also got a passion for fine art living. I welcome on the show Mr. Mukul Rohatgi, one of the most connected lawyers and who's appeared maximum for state governments, politicians, stars across India. Mr. Rohatgi, so of course, we're going to begin at the very start. I want to first ask you and try and understand, I've always seen you in the Supreme Court. Sometimes you are briefed maybe a few minutes in advance. You have an uncanny ability to connect with the judges. You roar inside the Supreme Court, outside you're extremely calm. Right at the start, July 1978, you began your career. You started in the chambers of Y.K. Sabharwal. He later became the Chief Justice of India. At 39, you became a senior advocate. Your father was one of the best known judges of the Delhi High Court, Justice Rohatgi. I've also seen how he wrote at a very fast-paced judgment. So he's still known for that. You said you got your passion for stationery, pens, and even reading from him. So tell us a little bit first about your early years and your parents.
See, my father was a lawyer. I grew up in a house where one could only see professionalism. My father used to teach in the law faculty as a part-timer from 1947 till 1972, when he became a judge of the High Court. He was appointed as a part-time lecturer for life by Sir Maurice Guire, the gentleman who founded the DU.
Right.
He was also the Chief Justice of the Federal Court. Very rare to have two positions in one gentleman, but that was prior to the Constitution. And so I used to see my father working extremely hard, getting up at 5 or 6 in the morning, going for teaching morning classes, then go to court at 10, come back from court at 4, go to his office at 5, then come back at 9.
Gosh.
We used to kind of, me and my sister, she was 3 years older to me, we used to meet my father more or less on a Friday evening because he would be gone before we went to school and he would come after we had gone to sleep.
Gosh.
You know, so, but he was a strict disciplinarian. He was an academic minded person. He was a first class first in law. That's why he got his job, etc. So he liked reading and he inculcated the habit of reading. So every Friday evening, me and my sister used to go with my parents to Connaught Place. But there was nothing else then. And you know, in the Connaught Place, there would be booksellers sitting in the gallery, in the cover, where you walk in Connaught Place, in the inner circle. So we used to buy books and those paperbacks. We started with Enid Blyton and then went on to James Headley Chase and stuff like that. P.G. Wodehouse in later years. So that was our love for books. As far as schooling is concerned, I was in modern school, which was probably the best school in those days. As far as pens are concerned, I think the credit would go to late Mr. Jaitley and my friend Mr. R.N. Karanjwala. So both of them were very fond of pens and they inculcated this pen kind of stuff. So you can see 2 pens which are here. And that's how, you know, I kind of, entered the profession at that time.
You then went to Hansraj in Delhi Law Faculty, University, and then you went to Government Law College in Bombay. What were the experiences that you had at GLC and Delhi, and which had a maximum influence on you?
See, I would say the maximum influence was my schooling.
Okay.
I would pay, every day I pay respects to my late principal. M.N. Kapoor was a great academic and a great principal. That I think had the maximum influence to give you a rounded personality. The second influence, much more than DU, was the Government Law College in Bombay. And the reason was that a lot of our teachers and professors were good practicing lawyers of that time.
Right.
And they were part-time lawyers, including one or two very famous lawyers, like Mr. Rafiq Dada,
Yes, of course.
He's the leader of the bar in Bombay for the last, maybe 60 years. He was our income tax teacher. And Mr. Nafde, who is practicing here,
Yes, yes.
he used to teach the Evidence Act. So we got a lot of practical experience, or practical knowledge from teachers who were practicing in the court.
Right.
And then, teaching us side by side.
Right.
And those were fun times. Mr. Karanjala and I were together, we were two other friends. And, at that time, Bombay was the commercial center.
Absolutely.
The financial center of the country. And Bombay High Court enjoyed a preeminent place in all the high courts, much more than Delhi.
So when did you move to this beautiful place that you have here, your chambers now?
We moved this year in the month of May, and I was finding that my Sundarnagar office, which I used for a large number of years, was a little getting cramped.
Right, sir.
Because, I have on an average 200, 250 clients and lawyers coming every day.
Right.
And I found it to be a little cramped. And I had spent 12 or 15 years there. So I found this property, it's closer home.
Yes.
And in terms of square footage, it is much bigger than that property. But the property, when I bought it, was nothing like this. It was pretty decrepit.
Right.
So one of my daughters-in-law is a gifted interior designer. Her name is Meher.
Right, okay.
So I gave that job to her, and she did the interiors.
Lovely.
And I think she's come out pretty well.
It's really nice.
And this is a portrait by a very famous
Yes.
artist whose name is, I think, Mr. Kanaiya.
Yes.
He has made portraits for large number of politicians, dignitaries, and all that. So he insisted on making a portrait.
And it's wonderful. It's so lifelike. It's absolutely
you can see
lifelike.
the same pen
Yes.
and maybe the same shoes
Yes. That's right. That's right.
and the same
Mola.
jacket.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And I wanted to show you,
Yes, sir. Please do.
this is the federal court
Right.
prior to the Supreme Court of India.
Okay.
And this gentleman is the Chief Justice of the Federal Court,
Right.
Sir Maurice Squire.
Okay.
And after him is named Maurice Nagar near the university,
Yes.
or Guire Hall
Right.
in the DU.
Oh, lovely.
This is that.
So all these paintings have a significance?
Yeah, something you see, that's the Supreme Court in the early 50s or 60s.
Very nice.
The others are, this is how the North and South Block is.
Yes.
This is the India Gate, the procession going to India Gate.
Very nice.
This is the Supreme Court from a kind of a zoom kind of a thing. This is the
Yes.
Gateway of India
Yes.
across Taj,
Taj.
which I love. Whenever I go to Bombay,
Yes.
I try to walk there. This is one of my favorite paintings.
Right.
I picked it up in Bombay
Okay.
about 20, 30 years ago. This is the painting of an actual courtroom
Okay.
in the Bombay High Court. On the first floor, it's courtroom number 46.
Oh,
It's the largest courtroom in the High Court.
right.
And this is a depiction of Bal Gangadhar Tilak's trial when he was tried for sedition.
Oh.
And he argued his own case before an English judge. Obviously, he was convicted.
Right.
And that's where he said that Suraj is my Janam Siddha Adhikar and I will have it. And there are powers which are greater than the powers that be here. That's an immortal speech he
Right.
gave. And that's the speech he's giving. This is one of my favorite paintings. This has always been behind my...
And the fact
Chair.
that it's behind your chair shows...
I always kept it like that.
Yes, it shows your love for the nation. I've also seen you, and I want to ask you a lot about the Yaqub Memon case.
Yeah.
It was unprecedented. You were the Attorney General. You also had a wonderful relationship with the former President Pranab Mukherjee.
Yes.
What was that time like? There are always these naysayers and this lobby, sir, that tries to put across their words for Afzal Guru, Yaqub Memon, and they wanted once again a delay, once again by citing mercy.
See, you must understand, in our country, if things like verdicts death sentences, execution of death sentences, if they don't happen in time, then they never happen. And then, they drag on for years, at times 10 years, 15 years. I'm doing some cases currently also. And once that happens, there is a line of judgments that if a person is kept on the death row without the sentence being executed for maybe 10 years or 5 years or 15 years, then that is torture itself. And therefore, the person is entitled to commutation of punishment from death by hanging to life imprisonment. So that's the reason to delay. Right? So you make a representation to the president, it gets rejected. It takes 2 years to reject it. Then you make one more. It takes more time. Then you move some court. Takes more time. So this is the reason.
You've had several midnight hearings before the Supreme Court.
So I will tell you about the Yaqub Memon case. Now, Yaqub Memon was sentenced to death. That sentence was affirmed by the Supreme Court. But in our system, you can still ask the president for mercy.
Yes.
And if the president doesn't decide or decides one way or the other, you can again come back to the Supreme Court, again raise some kind of challenge, whether frivolous or otherwise, and it takes time, and the government then doesn't act because some challenge is pending. That's the game, to do it again and again and again. So in this particular case, when I was the Attorney General, the challenge to the president's rejection was heard in the day by Chief Justice Deepak Mishra, his bench. The challenge was rejected by 4 o'clock with a judgment.
That's right.
And the time for hanging was fixed at 6 a.m. the next day. So I thought it was over. Then I went home. And I was just barely gone to sleep at about 10:30, 11. That I got a call from the registrar, the Supreme Court, saying that a fresh petition has been moved again before the court to defer the hanging and this and that. And Justice Deepak Mishra has fixed the hearing at about 1 o'clock at night. So then I rushed to the court after picking up my gowns and my dresses from my Sundarnagar office. I rushed there. And that hearing went on till about 5 in the morning. And then the petition was rejected. And
at 7 he was hanged.
At 6:30 he was hanged. And before, I forgot to tell you, before the hearing at 1 o'clock, I was summoned by the president at about 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock in the evening, again taking my views on a fresh mercy petition. So I told him that you can't have successive mercy petitions coming every day, every month. I mean, that's not what the law is about. So he rejected it. And then this saga happened. There was one more midnight hearing.
The floor test.
That was the floor test, which if you ask frankly, I don't think it required the emergency of a midnight hearing. It was completely unnecessary to put that kind of pressure on the court, judges. Not necessary, but anyway, that is the second time it happened. And I don't think there are many lawyers who would have done 2 or 3 midnight hearings.
I completely agree.
Which I have done, and I'm happy that I
And you argued, I remember, because we were outside the court, we were reporting on what you were saying inside the court. I think you've become almost the authority when it comes to constitutional laws, floor tests, governors. What actually should be the position that should be followed? I think when the governments are different, they have different views. But what should be a particular position here that should be followed, Mr. Rohatgi?
No, see, as far as the governors are concerned, and currently that issue is going on in the presidential reference. But it is settled law that a governor does not have any discretion. He is aided and advised by the Council of Ministers, just like the Prime Minister. Just like the President, I'm sorry.
You were appointed by the Vajpayee government as the Additional Solicitor General in 1999. You've said that was often the place that gave you the national scope. Were you more flummoxed or fascinated? What were the cases that were given to you at that time like?
See, going from a local high court to the Supreme Court is a completely different ball game. One cannot imagine, a lawyer cannot imagine what he is going to face in the Supreme Court going from a local high court. Now, in a local high court, say Delhi for that matter, Delhi High Court has very good work, it always had good work. But then there are several branches of litigation which are not existing in Delhi. So arbitration is a new field which has come up. Intellectual property cases have come up in Delhi in a big way.
Yes.
They were not there in the early 90s till the earlier Congress Prime Minister came. I forget his name.
Manmohan Singh.
No, before Mr. Manmohan Singh.
Narasimha Rao.
Narasimha Rao.
Yes.
He was the architect for liberalization.
Yes.
That resulted in the explosion of litigation. So, with that kind of a limited experience, when you go to the Supreme Court, you have to do litigation of 25 states. I was fortunate, if I use that phrase. Soon after I went, Gujarat had those riots.
Yes, I was going to ask you on that.
So in those riots, there were a lot of PIL petitions in the Supreme Court against the government and against the police.
Yes.
So as luck would have it, I got a chance to represent the Gujarat government and the Gujarat police in the Supreme Court in all those PIL cases. They were the best bakery cases, or Naroda Patia cases, Gulbarg Society cases, the burning of the train, and cases of the Jakia Jafri, widow of Ehsan Jafri, all those cases. And there were at least 100, 200 odd cases, which I did from 2001, 2002. Soon after Mr. Modi came to power as the CM, all these cases happened, and I did them for a good 10 years. So it gives you a great insight of how things happen. And most of all, I'm very happy in retrospect that I was given a torrid time by the court. The court was hostile.
Yes.
Hostile to what was happening, etc., etc. But one last case I did was about 3 years ago, in which the petition was by Jakia Jafri.
Loya case?
No, not Loya. This Gujarat riots case.
Right.
Alleging that the Chief Minister, that is the current Prime Minister, he actually overlooked and looked the other way and asked the police to do this, that. Which is all bunkum, it is all false.
I also remember you were at that time, I remember Court 5, and I remember it used to be in the afternoons when these cases used to come up, and the court used to always be packed and belligerent. The court, if I would say, was belligerent.
I would say hostile.
Hostile, yes. But Mr. Rohatgi, you've also had interactions with the Prime Minister, who was the then first-time Chief Minister of Gujarat. I've heard you were a part of the cabinet meetings in Gujarat at that time.
No, see, I was not a regular, I'm not a part of regular meetings, but 1 or 2 meetings I attended because some policy decisions had to be taken, some discussions had to be done.
Okay.
And I did go to Gujarat once or twice. And obviously I interacted with the Prime Minister, then Chief Minister at that time. And I've had a long association with them from Gujarat to the center and this and that.
Yes.
That's how life carries on.
What has your interaction first as the Additional Solicitor General for Prime Minister Modi as the then Chief Minister been, and then as the Attorney General? You've met him a lot of times. What are your reflections about the Prime Minister?
See, my major interactions happened when he became the Prime Minister and he appointed me as the Attorney General. So I had several interactions with him on several issues, and I used to go to PMO and discuss things and all that. And my first impression was that, and I've said it before, he's an extremely patient person. may or may not come across on TV, I don't know. But he's extremely patient. He hears out everybody fully. He doesn't go on interfering. It's not like a court where a judge is going on asking questions.
Right.
He hears everybody,
Right.
takes all the point of views, because he also knows that, see, he's not an expert in every field, whether it's law, whether it's medicine, whether it's environment, whether it is X, whether it's Y. But he has a great ability to absorb. And when you absorb viewpoints of several people, one way or the other, it allows you to make a conscious decision. So those are the decisions he makes. They are not abrupt decisions.
Right.
They are decisions in which hours and hours are spent on meetings. And I've spent 1 hour, 1.5 hours, which is a lot for a prime minister to give, how many meetings he would have had to. I mean, India is not a small place.
That's
India,
right.
And kind of problems India faces are huge, internal or external. And he kind of comes to grips. One day I met him at some function, I forget. That's the time, just to tell you the kind of person he is. The Doklam thing was going on with China.
Right.
In Bhutan. And the Chinese and the Indian army were face to face for nearly 2 months. I casually asked him that question. And he immediately went into the depths of the subject and explained on his hand कि देखो ये भूटान है, ये इंडिया है, ये चाइना है, ये डॉकलैम है, यहाँ पर ऐसी सिचुएशन है, हमारे जवान और उनके जवान आई टू आई खड़े हैं, ऐसा है. No, I mean, a person who very intense and goes to the bottom of the things, and only then he takes a decision. So that's my impression of the plan.
I think the same has also come through with Operation Sindoor. A lot of people have spoken about it.
So he said on TV, which I remember, that when Sindoor was going on, he said on TV that he has given the army a free hand. Otherwise, the political head is the final master, whether to do this or not. Given a free hand, and he said on TV that I have been sitting in this room for 48 hours. Maybe he didn't sleep for 40 hours.
Right.
So that's the kind of person he is.
You're also someone, not only I'm going to say as a lawyer, but also as an expert when it comes to corporate laws and understanding of the corporate world. I want to ask you, what do you make of the Trump tariffs?
I think they're completely unjustified. And if you ask me, the decisions are completely erratic. They have no reasoning. They are hollow, whimsical. Something like that. I don't like you.
Yes.
Tariff.
That's right.
Now his man, that Navarro, his advisor.
Yes.
He's saying that the path to the war is from New Delhi. Are we a part of the Ukraine and the Russia war? What have we to do with it?
Yes.
We have to buy oil for our requirements.
That's right.
China is buying more oil from them.
Yes.
They are still at 30% tariff and we are at 50%. As if we are, egging on Russia. India has never egged on a party or a state to go on with a war. We always say, we don't have a war.
Yes.
But we have to look after our interests.
Absolutely.
That's what the Prime Minister has been saying. And he has therefore launched the Swadeshi campaign.
Yes.
But don't buy all this Firang stuff. Look at the local stuff. We have such a huge population. You have so much consumption. I mean, you are exporting shrimps, right? Shrimp industry is being affected. You put it in the Indian market. Put it in the Indian market. You may not earn double the profit, but you still get 20%, which is good enough.
Very nice.
So, चाहे shrimp हो, चाहे कपड़ा हो, चाहे gems and jewelry. Now, some ladies gem और jewelry खरीदती हैं India में far more than they buy abroad.
Yes.
So bring it here.
Yes.
So if you do the Swadeshi campaign, I mean, don't have coffee in Starbucks. But should you go elsewhere? Have it in Khan Market, have it Costa Coffee.
Yes.
Things like that.
Lovely.
That's the kind of campaign the Prime Minister is trying, and I think people are with him.
One of the most high-profile cases you've done, I would say, is the Aryan Khan case. How were you approached? Where were you? What happened in those 3 days you were in the Bombay High Court? You finally won bail after a period of 3 weeks for Aryan.
See, personally, I don't think it was such a big or an important case. It just seems to be a case where everybody is interested. So every reporter keeps asking me about that case, including you and others. So I will tell you exactly what happened. According to me, it was a regular bail matter as far as I'm concerned, and I've done thousands of them.
That's right.
It just happens that the personality is important, and therefore, everybody is looking at it. But in short, I was in the UK on a holiday, and there were COVID times. COVID was declining, but it was still COVID times. So I got a call from somebody who was close to Mr. Khan that he wants you to argue that case in Bombay High Court. So I refused. That I don't want to break my holiday and come back as holiday for 7 days. Then somehow Mr. Khan got my number and he called me. So I told him the same thing, that I don't want to do it. So a great actor he is. So he said, can I speak to your wife? I said, sure. So then he gave her the sob story, then don't take it as a client, I'm a father, it happens, things like that. And obviously he was feeling it. So my wife also said, Arre bhai chale jao. So I told her, normally you are saying be so careful in COVID, now you're saying go all the way and do your case and all that. So anyway, Mr. Khan was gracious enough, he offered me a private jet, which I didn't take. I'm not very fond of small jets. So I flew down to Bombay, and Shah Rukh had himself checked in to the same hotel where I usually stay,
Trident.
which is the Trident, Nariman Point. And I found him to be quite keen and intelligent. He had made a lot of notes and points and stuff like that, apart from the lawyers. And he discussed with me. And then we argued it. It was argued for 2.5 days or so, 3.5 days or something. And finally, bail was granted. And I promptly went back to England to spend the rest of my holidays. That's how this thing happened. And if you remember, the solicitor's team was Karanjawala and Company. And I think Ruby, who works with Karanjawala, she was
there
in charge from their side.
Yes.
And she was also there
Yes.
In Bombay along with other lawyers. And that's how we carried the day.
I want to ask you, Mr. Rohatgi, about bail as a norm and not jail. Something you've spoken several times about, something which I think is amiss, because somewhere I think the judges have forgotten that this is what the ethos in India should be.
You're absolutely right. Bail is the rule and jail is an exception. Under our constitution, under our legal ethos, and under our jurisprudence. This was very famously stated by one of the most distinguished judges of the Supreme Court, late Justice Krishna Iyer. Bail, not jail. And in the years that I started practice in the 80s and the 90s, even the first decade of 2000s, bail matters used to be argued for not more than 5 minutes or 7 minutes. That look, this is the maximum sentence, this is the amount of period undergone, charge sheet has been filed, not filed, investigation complete, not complete, unless there is a great risk. The person is a maniac or, cases of rape or sexual assault, be guilty of any cases or a heinous offense of murder. By and large, one would get bail.
That's right.
And the orders used to be half a page to 2 pages. But somehow over the years, I would say the first person to blame is the legislature. And the legislature of 2002 to 2005, which was the Congress party. Mr. Chidambaram was the pioneer of this so-called PMLA. It's an absurd law. For the same offense, you are tried under the Indian Penal Code, and for the same offense, with some slight variation, you are tried under the PMLA. So for the same offense, you are tried twice. You can be convicted twice. Your punishments can be twice. It's completely against our constitution. right?
That's right.
Then, unfortunately, the provisions of that act were upheld, wrongly so. The judgment of the Supreme Court upholding this in Vijay Madanlal's case, according to me, is completely wrong, completely unconstitutional. But we are stuck with it. A review petition is going on. God knows how much will happen, will not happen. So with those kind of laws, and those laws turned the rule of presumption of innocence on its head.
Yes.
It says you are guilty till you show that you are innocent. That was never the rule in the Constitution. Those provisions are there in matters of bail. The judge cannot grant bail unless he's sure that you are innocent. How can a judge reach a conclusion that somebody is innocent in a bail without a trial?
Exactly.
It's absurd. Unfortunately, those provisions have been upheld. They are being applied. People are rotting in jails. So the seed was sown by the Congress party. And, you know, as nature would have it, it turned a full circle and it came to bite those very people who brought in the law. Look at that. That's how what goes around comes back.
That's true. Whether it's the Herald case, whether it's
So you look at that.
That's true.
They started these laws. The laws were completely wrong.
Yes.
And it came to bite them. Mr. Chidambaram, this, that, so many other people, they went to jail because of these laws should be completely repealed, according to me.
I want to ask you about Justice Verma case. Do you think an FIR should be registered?
See, there, let me tell you from whatever I know, I have represented him in that case.
Yes.
The Supreme Court also. First of all, what the then Chief Justice of India did in publishing that video under the mistaken belief that transparency is great. No doubt transparency is great. But it has to be with some level of following the laws or the norms. Some video was taken by somebody. That video was shown to the Chief Justice of India, Justice Khanna. He was a great judge, full of integrity, ramrod straight. But even he can make a mistake. He should not have put that video immediately picked up by all the national press. It shows some notes burning. Were they genuine? Were they fake? How many were they? Nobody knows. Somebody says 10 crore. I told somebody 5 lakh. Nobody knows, right? But the image of the judge is finished in the eyes of the public because people tend to believe what they see more than what they read, right? So, अरे जज के घर में पैसा निकला, करप्शन तो है ही, हर जगह हो रही करप्शन, जजों में भी हो रही है, पुलिस में भी है, अफसरों में भी है, पॉलिटिशियंस में भी है. So there is a general negative feeling, you know, or a feeling of derision. अरे भाई सब जगह ऐसे होते. So that judge is damned anyway. Nobody will believe कि किसी ने रख दिया हो पैसा, क्या मालूम कितना था.
But in-house committee said that he's not been able to explain
committee,
it.
according to me, is completely wrong.
Okay.
The ultimate result of the in-house committee is, you know what? Not किसने रखा, कहाँ से आया, कुछ नहीं है उसमें. They have not been able to find it out. That's what they had to find out. What is the ultimate finding? अरे
Unaccounted cash was
ये
there.
अनअकाउंटेड कैश मिला उस कमरे में
Yes.
जो जज के पूरे घर के अंदर था.
Yes.
तो लिहाजा जज एक्सप्लेन करे.
Yes, and only he can find
Now
it.
I tell
only
you,
he can.
Rhythm.
Yes.
You are sitting here.
Yes.
You have a car outside, right?
Yes.
You don't have a driver, suppose. So I tell my guy, go and open a dicky with a screwdriver. उसमें 1 kilo hash डाल देना. You will never know. You will drive the car.
But they also came to
Listen,
the
listen.
understanding. Yes.
So I'm going to call up the cops. कि एक रिदम आ रही है गाड़ी नंबर 1 2 3 4 में, उनको रोको, उसमें कॉन्ट्राबैंड मिलेगा. आपकी गाड़ी में कॉन्ट्राबैंड मिला.
So you're saying
You have
this
no
was
explanation कहाँ से आया? But if I say no, you are guilty because आपका है, खत्म. I'm giving you a simple example.
a simple alternative, but was it so simple because only Kirki and the other people who were a part of his house were able to go into that store?
That is all wrong. I've seen that house.
Okay.
I've been to that house many times. My brother-in-law, Justice Bipin Sanghi, used to live in that house.
But his daughter had called for the fire engine,
Yes.
and she immediately said, "Okay, ab nahi aane ki zarurat." And this was
That's not true. Fire came.
they
There was,
came,
so who
and
said? No,
she
she
was
never said
reluctant.
aane ki zarurat nahi. No, not at all. She invited.
She
She came. The report says we find Verma's behavior very strange. Why? Because when he came back from his safari the next day, he did not go to that room to see the fire. He went and first met his old mother. Are? If you come back and you have an old mother, would you meet the mother or would you go and see the fire? Second, we find that his conduct is abnormal. Why? Because when he was transferred, he did not object.
He did not object.
So why should you object? Everyday transfers are happening. You think judges are objecting? They are supposed to be a soldier. According to me, that report is not worth the paper it is written on. Okay? And that report calls for no evidentiary value in the actual thing which will happen later.
What is the actual thing, Mr. Rohatgi?
The committee appointed by the speaker.
Right.
That is consisting of two judges and a lawyer.
Right.
That's the real committee. This is supposed to be some fact-finding committee. This is not something which is sanctioned by the law or by the constitution.
So we're going to keep our fingers on that. And also, is a judge above board when it comes to an FIR in such a case?
See, the law is that judges are prone to, these kind of things. I mean, they decide hundreds of cases.
Right.
So one party or the other is against the judge.
Right.
That he destroyed me, or took away my house, or took away my marriage, whatever. So people will lodge all kinds of FIRs. So there is an inbuilt mechanism that you can't lodge an FIR till the consent of the Chief Justice of India is required. That's about all. The Chief Justice could have said,
Okay.
lodge an FIR, have a police investigation. So this kind of case requires a police investigation.
Yes.
It requires a forensic investigation.
Yes.
वो नोट कहाँ थे,
Agreed.
कैसे जले थे, वो असली हैं कि नकली हैं, वो पुराने हैं कि नए हैं, आग कैसे लगी, इलेक्ट्रिक शॉर्ट सर्किट से लगी, किसी ने माचिस से लगाई, कि किसी ने मिट्टी के तेल से लगाई. All that was required. वो तो कुछ हुआ नहीं. वो आग लगी और साफ हो गई और चली गई. So, होनी चाहिए थी FIR. But anyway, now it's too late for all that.
Okay, I wanted to, sir, ask you two more questions. One, of course, being going back to your early years, what was your first salary? What did you earn first? And how did you spend it?
See, I didn't have a salary. I worked in the chambers of Justice Y.K. Sabharwal, who was a lawyer. And he was a popular lawyer in the High Court. He had good work. So there was no salary, but he used to get me some junior briefs, assisting him. Or if the small person comes who can't afford, so he has only 500 rupees to pay, right? So he would say, "Yaar, iska case kar dena." So I got a lot of opportunity under him to do cases. The least fee that I have taken, I remember, was 220 rupees, which was a great figure those days. You could go to Taj and have a meal in that money. And that's how we started. My wife used to maintain a notebook about recording, got a check of 550 rupees. 1100 rupees was a great fee. So we started in small ways, and till there was an explosion of litigation, as I said, under Mr. Narasimha Rao, and then things became better and all that.
I want to ask how a day of yours begins and what do you do the entire day? When do you take a break?
See, I generally get up at about 6:30. The first thing I read is the Indian Express on my iPad, because in the old days, I used to read newspapers physically, but after COVID, you got used to iPads. And then I go for a walk to Lodi Garden. We have a group of friends who meet there.
Which I'll ask
from
you
different walks of life. They're not lawyers. And I used to originally walk in house cars when I was in GK. Then I used to walk in Siri Fort Road with Mr. Jaitley when he shifted to Kailash Colony. We were there for many years. Then he and I both shifted to Lutyens. I became an ASG attorney and he was a minister. So we started Lodi Gardens the last about 30 years. And I go there more or less every day, at least 25 times a month.
Okay.
And we walk there, and then we have a tea club. It was called the Jaitley Point, where Jaitley used to always have tea there. We sit there for 15-20 minutes, chit-chat, and then I come back by about 8:30. Sometimes I come straight to office, or go home, change, and I start here by about 8:45. Then you're in court till about 4 o'clock. Then I come back and I start straight away. I don't rest.
Okay.
Because I want to finish. And then I try to wind up by about 7:30.
Okay.
And then since my house is closed, I go home.
Right.
And now I have a pool. I swim sometimes in the evening. I try to meet my grandchildren.
Lovely.
I would say that they're the best things that can happen to a grandfather, to have 2 young children to speak to, because with our own children, we never had that interaction because we were busy.
Yes.
You know. So I have 2 grandchildren, both go to the same school. So I try to meet them, but they go out to sleep by 7:30 because they get up early.
Right.
And today on Friday, but for this interview, I would have gone home.
I'm sorry.
And it's all right. I will still go home and meet them because kal chutti hai. So spend time with the grandchildren, maybe swim with them, maybe watch some Tom and Jerry with them on TV.
Lovely.
And stuff like that. And the evenings are somewhat hectic because many things are going on. Lawyers' functions, other functions, something or the other. Then Saturday I'm in office by 11. I leave from here at about 6. In the evening you can relax, go somewhere, have dinner, watch a movie. Sunday I work from about 10 to 2 for Monday's cases. Because outstation lawyers want to come on Sunday.
Right.
Some come on Friday, Saturday. And Sunday afternoon I am free and then the grind starts. But the best part of our profession, in the Supreme Court at least, are long holidays. In Holi, Diwali, Dussehra,
Yes.
New Year.
Yes.
So that kind of re-energizes you.
Right.
You work, you get exhausted, you work.
And where do you like to travel, Mr. Rohatgi?
I travel a lot.
Okay.
Now I take a lot of holidays. So there are 3 days, I take a 4th day off
Okay.
from court. This time I went to a cruise with our school friends
Lovely.
who've been with us for more than 60 years. So we went to Barcelona and all that.
Okay.
In the winters, I went to Antarctica
Okay.
with my wife and a couple, also a well-known solicitor, Mr. Mahesh Agarwal,
Of course.
and his wife.
Yes.
So we went all the way to Antarctica. Now I'm planning in the next summer to go to the Arctic Circle,
Okay.
which is off Norway. See, because most of the other stuff one is done.
Yes.
How many times can you keep going to America or England or
Yes.
Europe?
Yes.
These are places I want to go. I want to go to Mongolia. I've never been to Mongolia. So I like to travel.
So you have said in one place that yours has been a long and arduous life. Arduous, why?
Because of the constant grind,
Yes.
morning to evening, morning to evening, morning to evening. You're like performing.
Yes.
It's like a performing in a circus. Unless you perform, you can't survive. You have to perform. You have
But
to
you
do your
don't
best.
want to slow down?
I try to. You can ask my staff. I tell them, don't accept more cases. Sometimes, their hearts with junior lawyers. Then the junior lawyers come and complain to me. कि सर आपने हमारा केस नहीं किया तो our client will go away. आप बड़े वकीलों firms के करते हो, छोटों को भी करो. So, I don't want to say no to people. My office is an open office. People walk in, walk out.
So what are you looking forward to, Mr. Rohatgi?
A healthy and a peaceful life. So that my family remains together. I owe a lot to my wife for bringing up the kids in a humble way, in a way that there are some things ingrained that this is how you have to live, this is how you have to live together, this is how you have to deal with people. You're not flying high, you have to be on the ground. And I have noticed that whenever in the past years, whenever you feel you're on top of the world, you're flying, that kind of thing, if you're in all that cases, she would bring you back to the ground. Okay, bhai, theek hai, jo bhi hai, this is how you have to carry on. So basically, a healthy life for whatever is left given by God,
Of course.
a healthy and a close-knit family, is all that I aspire. I don't need any money. I mean,
Yes.
what do
I think you've
aspire
come
for
a
money?
long way from loving Ayn Rand's Atlas Shrugged to having your own vision of a complete paradise, I would say.
See, all that is done and dusted. Na? I mean,
Yes.
there's no great charm of going to any better restaurant in the world or a better hotel in the world. I've seen the best, I've had that food, but ultimately आप दाल रोटी खाओगे ना घूम फिर के, कितनी बार वो करोगे? So done that, all that. You're happy, you have an office, you have a court, you have friends, you have the goodwill of a lot of clients. और क्या चाहिए?
Absolutely. On that note, we thank you for giving us so much time. It's been one of the most wonderful interviews we've had. And we're wishing a long and extremely prosperous life for you, Mr. Rohatgi. Thank you for being with us.
My regards to Arnab.
Thank you.